I can't talk about Pokemon anymore. We have to move on. Ekon,
Mm-hmm.
what, if anything, are your plans for the church? I don't think actual construction has begun on it yet because you guys are trying to focus on the palisade and this long haul. But what is the eventual goal?
I mean, Ekon wants to, fully restore it, make the tower all kind of cool and magical, like the tower in our old encampment, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Wandering around the village, uh, it would be incorrect to say that the people are avoiding you, but you kind of pick up on a vibe that a few of them, mostly the hangers-on, by which I mean some of the travelers that joined your train after it had left Castle Avernus and on the way here, of which there are like a dozen or so. You get the sense that they're watching you intently, and when you're not interacting with them, they do tend to congregate in the area around in front of the church. Small group of people, probably less than 10. But you get the sense that the reason that they're not approaching you at the moment is because they don't... it wouldn't be proper. It's not how it's done.
I mean, I'll just walk up to the front of the church and ask, is there something you need?
And after a few moments of conversation, you determine that what the people need is they want to be taught some prayers. Something to speak over meals, something to speak before bed at night. But as of now, that they are directionless.
Oh, I mean, I'll tell them I'll happily come to dinner tonight in the long haul and instruct anyone who wants to follow in prayer. I've been doing that for our people since we got here, and then I can also teach any of them individually who would like to learn some things about like prayers to say before bed or when waking up or when the sun rises.
One of them asks, and he asks in a way that he kind of blurts it out to the surprise of some of the other people in the small group. One of them asks if only you and yours, the nobility, are heirs people, or if it could be said that others are heirs people as well.
I don't know. Anyone who wishes to worship and does so in good faith. There are none who are so low or so high as to be outside of heirs' domain.
And you're telling them that you'll come down to the long hall for the evening meal tonight?
Yeah.
And offer fellowship and guidance?
Yeah. I figure Victor can handle the one at the keep.
Okay. What do you tell them, if anything, about your eventual plans for this building, then?
I mean, I'll tell them that, while it's not a priority, we will at some point we'll be able to restore this church and I can lead proper prayers and mass for any who would want to come.
Okay. Evie.
Yes.
I have to roll against you.
You always have to roll against me.
Always.
You don't have to. You could just say I succeed at whatever I'm trying.
Well, right now you're trying to move through the village radiating authority.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty good roll. 18, I think.
I think it was 16.
Now and again, you're approached by the various bosses, asking questions, asking for a direction, where things need to be moved to, general things about the building of this wall and other constructions. The question that they most desperately need answered is when they'll be allowed to go back out into the woods and fell more trees. None of them have come out and said it openly, but it's pretty clear to everybody that the palisade cannot be completed until that happens.
Mm-hmm. We are formulating a plan to drive back the wolves as we speak. And we shall inform you when we have more information. I understand you can't continue work until this is done. And I'm making it a priority.
Do you tell them anything about the plan or what it is, or do you not have one yet?
Well, I don't want to... I'm not going to play the card that the Vistani is giving us info yet.
Okay. So you kind of have two ways you can play this then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you let them know that you don't yet have a plan, or do you let them believe that you have a plan, but it's not time to tell them what it is?
I tell them that we're developing a plan.
Which means you don't have one yet.
I expect that after we talk to the Vistana woman, we will probably have a good idea of how to proceed.
Okay, so you're informing them that you're going to develop a plan with the assistance of this Vistana.
I'd say we're going to develop a plan, and I expect it to be ready within the day.
But do you bring up the Vistana?
I'm not going to bring her up right now.
Okay. Jeannie, you are piddling in your workshop.
Yes.
And Edmont, same kind of thing. Is construction, a lot had already been done, but it's kind of coming to a halt because no more work can really proceed until they're allowed to go out and fell more trees.
Edmont is working on trying to see, because basically, from what it sounds like everybody except for him and Orson are busy with other things. But I feel like we could escort a group of loggers out to the thing while Orson and I keep an eye on things for in case the werewolves try to be cute and try something.
Are you telling the men at the long haul this throughout the day? Like there's a plan in place for you and Orson to accompany some loggers out into the woods?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when that's going to happen?
Probably tomorrow.
Okay. And Victor, you're playing delivery boy.
Victor is humbling himself before the Vistani woman.
Okay. Do you give her privacy while she bathes and eats?
Yeah.
Okay. What sort of clothes do you bring her?
Did she request anything specifically?
No.
Some nicer clothes. Not sure what the options are. If Jeannie happens to have an outfit laying around, or Evie, we're not sure which one of them wears dresses.
Not unless one of them brought them from Brennan. So unless it's on their character sheet, I would assume they don't have it.
I actually do have one on my character sheet.
Are you bringing her that one?
This is a really formal. It's not appropriate for traveling.
If it's too formal, no. Victor will bring a selection. He'll try and find like a nice dress that's comfortable and warm, and he'll also bring like a pair of trousers and a shirt if she'd prefer to wear those.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As far as nice clothes, unless one of you has that listed on your character sheet, having brought it from Brennan, because you haven't had time to procure it or make new clothing since. Otherwise,
just
you're
nice stuff
probably...
laying around.
I have a set of traveler's clothes she can have.
Is that what you're bringing her?
Whatever the nicer options that we have are, yeah.
Your options are what's listed on your character sheets, or basic rough spun stuff from out in the village.
Yeah, so if somebody has traveler's clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that off my character sheet.
After she eats, bathes, and dresses, she tells you, and she calls you Lakomi, and she tells you, your family sees it as a weakness that you are greedy. She says it as a statement, not really a question.
Victor sort of nods and says, "Where we come from, names are freely given, but we have come to understand here that is not the general practice."
And you are greedy and you are wise.
Thank you.
Are you greedier than you are wise, or are you wiser than you are greedy?
I would prefer to be wiser than I am greedy.
But you take what is offered.
When it makes sense.
She tells you that she has obligations to the rest of your family for providing the things that you've given her so far. But to you, she says, what if I knew a thing that less than 100 people in Darkhan knew, and virtually none outside of the family?
I would be interested to know the price.
I give it to you freely, because it is a weight that I carry. Others in my family carry it as well. When I give it to you, you would carry it.
I'm interested.
I warn you, when I give you this thing, you will see it as an advantage. But if you try to use it as such, it will bend and destroy you. It sounds like good news, but it is not.
I have come to learn there are two sides to everything. I would be willing to take on your burden.
I warn you one last time. Ignorance is a shield. Discard it at your peril.
We cannot live our lives behind shields. Sometimes we must go forward and face the risks.
You are greedy indeed. Very well, I will unburden myself.
He nods. And
She surmises that you were sent here by Azalin King to set the village to rights, and she correctly guesses that he's done this because you arrived in Darkhan with some measure of great magic. The secret she tells you is that Azalin is a studious man who has studied magic for centuries, but since his arrival in Darkhan, he has been unable to learn or develop a single new spell or magical formula.
Victor's eyes widen slightly and he nods.
And now you carry this thing. What will you do with it?
This is indeed dangerous knowledge for all involved.
And then she informs you that she would receive the rest of your family at their leisure if they are to resume their conversation.
Victor nods politely to her and goes to get the rest of the family.
Evie's ready.
Okay. And she offers her gratitude for the bath and the food. Notably, though, she hasn't mentioned anything by way of obligation in repayment for the healing that she's received. But you come back to her in the afternoon, and she opens things up by saying, you had more questions about the Loop Giru.
Who's she addressing? Just all of us?
Just to the group.
General group?
In general.
The Keltistravi have wronged you. I believe we have a common enemy.
I mean, she's already offered. I guess she's offering the information. We don't have to politicize her. You don't have to wine and dine her.
Okay.
Put your ruby away.
She shakes her head and she says that the fate of the Keltistravi, one way or the other, is not connected to her, neither by word nor action.
Even though they killed your family?
You ask if I seek vengeance.
The thought did cross my mind, yes?
The Keltostravi heard a thing that they did not like. They acted in the way that they felt most agreeable to the fortune that they received.
Are you allowed to tell us what you told them that caused this reaction?
You want to know what I saw in the Taraka?
If that's possible.
This would be a breach of confidence if the Keltostravi were friends of mine. As it happens, they are not, and I owe you a debt. You bid her continue?
I want to know. What are you guys?
Yeah, sounds fine to me.
Nods to continue.
Yeah.
So to be clear, after she answers this question, she's going to want more stuff from you guys in exchange for further information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, what does she want?
No, she hasn't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
She tells you that the reading that the Keltostravi received was of their demise.
Mm-hmm.
It told of the coming of silver trees in their lands. And shortly after the arrival of the silver trees, people would arrive. It so happens that silver trees have started appearing in the forests that the Keltostravi clans call home. And shortly after their notice, men and women sent by Aslan King arrived, granted land and title.
Well, everything seems to track with this prophecy, save for their extermination.
Are the question for the DM?
Mm-hmm.
Are the ironwood trees silver?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I was just I thought that's what you were going. I was just verifying.
Interesting that they only started to grow recently.
Those trees are way too big to have appeared recently.
Evie, she corrects you. I did not say they grew recently. I said they appeared recently.
That's very interesting.
Did they?
As we appeared recently.
How does that work?
I would imagine the same way we got here. These weird mists.
They just planted them in the ground.
Or it's
Or pulled them from somewhere.
She says it is the natures of things to appear or disappear when nobody is watching. Surely you have noticed this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. I have two questions, and then I know that you will ask for recompense for answering them. but I would like you to consider the questions and then tell us what you possibly would require. First question. Do you know any way we could... How do you kill a Luguru?
She tells you that common werewolves and shape changers throughout Darkon have according to old folklore, have certain weaknesses. And she lists some of them off. Silver weapons, an aversion to wolfsbane. The Keltostravi do not share these weaknesses. The man who imprisoned me flaunted his immunity to silver weapons by wearing silver adornments in his flesh, and they troubled him not.
Oh,
About that guy.
that also does track with what we know.
Silver metal does not bother them. Perhaps silver wood.
Evie looks at her knife, which is made of that kind,
Yeah,
some
her
kind of material.
Yeah.
This seems to work well enough.
her knife is made out of the ironwood.
Victor looks at Jeannie, looks at the knife, and then looks at Edmont.
I am going to... We've been marking the trees along as we go, right?
I mean,
That's the thing.
you can find the trees you're looking for. You guys are... I mean, remember, your guys almost... A lot of your industry in North Warren back home was in dealing with wood steel.
Mm-hmm. I have several planks that I can use, and then we can get more. Of course, the planks that I have are actually enchanted.
She asks you why go to war with the Keltostravi. Why not just leave this place? Find a safer village to inhabit. Darkon has no shortage of them.
This land has been granted to us. It is
Why?
our land.
Something our father once said, it's just in our nature, I guess.
It's
They-
simpler than that. Everywhere we've been, our lives have been attempted on. So, how is any place else going to be better? If we're to make a stand, we may as well make one here.
There is no sanctuary anywhere in this land, so we will build one with our own hands.
They will send the Guru against you.
They will
Well-
be met.
We do not seek conflict, but if they choose to pursue it, we are not going to hold back anymore.
She's eyeing Evie's dagger.
Hmm.
I know a way that you could appease the Keltostravi.
We also know several ways, or one way to appease them, that we are not willing to do.
Why not?
It is not in our character.
Victor just flat out says they wanted virgins.
What is the life of one child against the entire village? You
Well, if it
refuse to
were-
give up one, and so dozens will die.
It's one child every 6 months, and eventually you run out of children. It's just a slow death.
I will not kneel before those who demand our children be taken from us.
It's a matter of economics.
It's a matter of right and pride.
And there, folks, you have the difference between Evie and Jeannie.
It's just a bad idea. It sets bad precedent.
Am I to be the ruler of a land that bows before wolfmen who demand such things? That's not a ruler. That's an appeaser. That's a slave.
That is the problem with you, Giorgo. You believe you are rulers of the land. You have a piece of paper from Azalin King saying this is your place. She shakes her head. It is not your place.
My second question, which I actually forgot. Crap. I'll have to think about that.
What was the way she was going to tell us to appease them?
Do you ask her?
I guess out of curiosity.
By way of answer, she answers indirectly. She kind of winds around the point at hand, but she paints a picture of the Keltostravi attacking, sending the Luke Garou against the village, and even repelling them, sending them back. You lose 20 able men. If you had agreed to their terms, it would have taken you 10 years to lose that many. You will lose in one day what you could have paid over a decade.
So she's basically circling around to the same problem we were having. You can either just pay now or pay later.
That's what she's saying, but it's difficult to get a read on where she stands on the issue. You don't really get the sense that she's condoning or condemning the choice that you made.
Yeah.
Were you the Duchess? Or the people that you placed that were placed in your charge? Those that followed you to lands seeking a new and better life for yourself?
She laughs, more to herself than to anything. You ask impossible questions, sir. None of these things can come to pass. I hold no lands and rule no peoples. None of the family do.
The question I put to you then is something you refuse to answer. That just illustrates the two very different worlds we come from.
And if we had wings, we could fly above the mists instead of traveling through them. And if you had walls, you need not fear the Keltostravi at all.
We are working on that. But I have a question, if you would answer.
She nods, and she's enjoying answering your questions. You get this. She's really not acting like a woman who just yesterday was very badly injured. She seems to be recovering very quickly.
Victor is imagining her calculating the bill in her head. The Keltostravi, your people, do they make friendships with other groups? We've come to understand that there seems to be much persecution among the locals of your people, and we do not tolerate that ourselves.
Now, are you asking about the Keltostravi, or are you asking about the Vistani?
Sorry, the Vistani.
And she shakes her head. She won't speak on this topic. This is family business.
But of being friends or building relationships over time with other groups, do your people have an interest in that?
Some do, others do not.
You and yours?
She shrugs, gives you the same answer. Some do, others do not.
Certain nods.
There is no her. There's only her. There is no hers. She's the last one left of her. Of her wagon. Of her. Yeah.
Is that the end of the questions?
Yes, because I can't remember the other one, and it was the more important of the two. Just stupid brain problems.
Surely that won't come back to bite us in the ass.
She says that she believes that the Keltostravi will make a show of force against your village before the next full tide. This should be about 7 or 8 days from now.
Well, okay then.
Your visions that we've understood your people to have, we would be open to hearing them should they occur, without anger or resentment or persecution.
She tells you that she is adept at reading the Taraka, but that the Tokler and his men burned them when she was taken. She has no way to look into your future.
Is there anything we could do to help you replace these items?
So you're asking what she needs to construct a new Taraka?
Yeah, and if there's any way that we can help her do that.
She says that that could be done. And she gives you the list of materials she needs. I mean, she needs to essentially make a deck of cards. She would need inks, paints, good paper. Typically, a village this nature would not have those kinds of things, but I mean, Edmont specifically has a lot of these kinds of supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't let Edmont paint the Taraka deck, because
Don't say that. Don't talk out about that. That's a family thing.
I'm not saying it out loud. I'm making a joke. We just need to not let Edmont paint it, and we'll be fine.
Are there any more questions? Or are you ready to move on to the subject of payment?
I don't think I have any more.
No.
I suspected that the reading that he got had been that we would bring them ruin. But now that we know that information, that is potentially a very powerful psychological tool.
She says that she does not have much insight into the psychology of the wolves. Mostly she sees them as hungry and brutish beasts.
Mm-hmm.
She says if she's going to be of any more use to you in terms of looking into the future, reading the Taraka, that seems that the first thing that needs to happen is she's going to have to survive this upcoming attack on your village, which she seems to think is going to happen before the next full moon. So within the next week or so.
So we have about we have about 7 days to get this wall up.
And she's eyeing Evie's dagger as she says, a woman must have some way to protect herself. Wouldn't you agree? She holds out her hand expectantly.
I mean, Jeannie, you made this. I think this is kind of up to you.
I mean, it's your dagger.
I mean, you could make me another one, but not. How long would it take? I wouldn't have another one ready to fight the wolves.
You did agree to pay her price.
Mm-hmm. Jeannie, you could use your infusion to to make one of my other weapons magical, right?
Is there any way we could defer payment until after the attack? Or is she wanting?
Are you asking her that?
Or like it? Actually, it just occurred to me that she probably wants the dagger for the attack.
Exactly.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it's entirely up to Evie. Like, I could make another one with enough time and materials.
Yeah, we just don't have a lot of time is the problem.
Well,
But
we
if
can go with more mundane solutions.
Yeah, if you can infuse another dagger so that I have something magical to fight with, then we're fine.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it to her then.
She accepts the dagger. You see her testing the weight in her hand, finding the balance of it. She tells you that she does not know the numbers that the Keltostravi might come with. But that your goal should not be to wipe them out. She has never known a man or a group of men who have killed one of the Loup Garou when it was amidst its bloodlusts in an attack like this one. She does not know if it can be done, but if you do it, if you kill one, the rest will break.
Very helpful to know.
All right. I have ideas, and we have a week to do it.
Well, before you get to your ideas, at the end of this conversation, she asks to be seen to more accommodating quarters for the duration of her stay.
I mean, she's basically in the most accommodating of quarters we have.
Yeah.
I mean, Victor will offer his quarters, but I don't think they're much nicer.
Aren't you guys all like just throw your bedrolls in like the same room?
Like, yeah, we're just in one of the cleared out rooms on the first floor of the manor, is my understanding.
Okay.
We're basically sharing we probably have 2 rooms, men and women.
I think we can spare 1 or 2 workers to help make one of the rooms more accommodating for her.
So you know that if she's telling the truth, you can expect the attack within about 7 days. So what are you guys doing to prepare?
All
We
right.
need lumber. We need. I would like it, if possible, for this wall to be ready by then, so that our people have a place to take shelter.
Is that enough time for Victor to make some traps?
Depends on what kind of traps, I suppose.
Probably some more primitive types, so that if they charge, they could hit things like spike pits or...
The problem is you've seen that normal weapons can't damage them.
We have ironwood spikes, or we can make ironwood spikes, right?
You have a couple of ironwood planks.
Right. I have 11 ironwood planks.
If we could get 1 or 2 of the ironwood trees, what could we do with that?
Yeah, how hard was it to get those ironwood trees cut down?
Not difficult, but you'd have to send men out into the woods to get them.
So
Yeah,
here's
okay.
no, I was
If,
going to say
that's okay.
I think McDohl's idea of going out is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting some ironwood. That's good. So we go to a place where there is some of those trees, and when they're cutting trees, we make sure that they bring one of those.
So we're spending the week basically babysitting loggers.
Oh, I am not.
You are not.
Edmont is.
Evie will if she has a dagger that can fight. Genie.
I mean, I can infuse a dagger to be magical over the... Well, actually, no, I can't. Oh, I don't have that infusion anymore.
Now I don't have a weapon.
I just realized I gave that infusion up because I didn't
Treble.
realize I didn't need it anymore.
It's going to be
Trouble.
so easy to kill Evie now. Is anybody
Treble.
else that night going to attend Ekon at the Long Hall as he is teaching prayers to some of the common men?
So, question, or do we feel confident that if we leave...
Well, let's get an answer to my question first so we can move on.
Well, this is related to that.
Okay.
If we leave, do we feel confident that if we leave the Vistani woman alone, she'll be okay? No one's going to try and attack her?
You don't get the sense that anyone would storm into the manor. Evie seems to have appeased people by then.
Okay, then Victor will go to the long haul.
Okay. Just Victor?
Yeah, I'll go to the long haul.
Okay. Ekon, can I get a religion check, please?
Got it. Any reason I can't use guidance for this?
Nope, none at all.
That is a... it's a 13.
13? Now, as you're leading some of these men in prayer, are you going by the books, or are we looking at, like, a new Ekon brand version of the Etherine faith?
I mean, I think Ekon's going by the books pretty closely. It's probably pretty strongly influenced by Pladden's theology, which was out there, but not entirely outside of like the realm of normal.
Okay.
You know, it was stringy on certain things. So it's not it wouldn't be what you would expect in a highly orthodox place, but it wouldn't be like it wouldn't turn people's heads or get you called a heretic.
So more New Testament, less Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Nice, nice Freudian slip there, Brick Road. Good job.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, when you said fake or faith.
These people really, really like the nice parts of the religion. They like the idea that God is good, that he's watching over them, that there's a plan, he's setting a path before them. And they like all of those good things. With work, you think you could convert some or all of this flock.
Okay.
The conflict down the road that you see coming is that there are also bad things in the Aetheri faith that people are going to have to learn about. Like what happens when they break Aetherian law.
Right.
And whether or not you're going to be willing to uphold the punishments in those cases. Because there's really nobody else here to do that labor. Lots of pointed questions about whether these prayers will protect them and their family from werewolves.
Yeah, wonder what brought that on.
I mean, you're laughing, but it's a serious concern in their lives right now. So what do you tell them that yes, these prayers will protect you against werewolves?
I tell them that air will protect them against werewolves, so his intervention is not always as direct as one might hope.
What's his air look like?
A shining pillar, the sun atop a shining crystal pillar, tower thing.
Where is this tower?
It was destroyed before the current age of man.
Destil actually read that like 26-page document.
Yeah, I actually read it too.
It was in Endeline.
No, that was a recreation.
Well, I mean, it was in Endeline. It's not anymore, but that's where it was.
Oh, where the tower was, yeah.
So you're able to answer a lot of pointed questions. And you can tell that a lot of these people have no interest in what you're going on about. But some of them do. These are very superstitious folk. And giving them any semblance of hope. That said, at the first sign of like real adversity, like if the werewolves do attack and half of these townfolk are slaughtered, it's going to break them. Like that faith will not hold.
All right, let's.
What is Ekon doing over the course of the 7 or so days to prepare for this attack?
I mean, we don't have the material components for a whole bunch of glyphs of warding, do we?
No, that's 200 gold pieces of ruby dust. How many gems do we actually have? We might have a few. We have no gem. Well, we have 8 50 gold pieces gems.
I'll say there's a 5% chance per gem that any given gem is a ruby. If you want to.
Oh
roll
yeah,
those up.
there's absolutely no. That is such a slim chance. You'll get 4.
You guys have all these great ideas for how to fight werewolves. It's all going to take more than a week to do.
Right.
We stabbed them.
So aside from that, Ekon will mostly be guarding people as they go in and out, and he actually, I think Ekon, Orson, and maybe Edmont should make some treks to some of these closest of these trees and chop them down and start building, like, what would be good? Probably, like, I'm going to say bolts and arrowheads?
Yeah.
There are Fletchers among the men.
If you get some darts, I would have weapons. Because I do not have a weapon right now.
How many could I get an entire sheaf of darts out of one of the planks?
Well, just make me a dagger if you could do that.
Yeah, I mean obviously, but
How
I'm
many
just asking.
individual planks do you have?
I have 11 planks.
11 planks.
And there's been some confusion on my part on how big these planks are. Like you initially made them sound like they were like 20 feet long,
No, no.
but I'm assuming they're about the size of a longsword since I can get a longsword out of them.
Yeah, the longest planks. I'll say you probably have one really good solid plank that would be suitable for a longsword. The tricky thing with working wood steel is it's not like ore that can be melted down and forged. Like if you have a bad piece of wood, it's just not good for anything. You don't have a way to take one of these planks and use material from another plank to make it stronger. If it's not already suitable, it's just not suitable. That said, the planks that are not suitable to make like a sword or a dagger could be used to make arrowheads or bolts.
Okay.
Or just sharpened shafts, even.
All right. I'm going to collect. How many? Who is the? I'm going to go to the boss guy, the one that kept calling Dennis a moron,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask him for to give me his 2 best woodworkers,
Okay.
and we're going to. How do we want to divvy this up? I'm
So,
going to give them.
I'm gonna have you do some rolls. Have we already decided that? I don't think we've decided anything as far as these planks are, have we?
Yeah, you said that if I get a 50% chance to get a long sword out of one plank,
Okay.
and if I fail that, I can try for a short sword, and if I fail that, I can try for a dagger,
Okay.
and if I fail that, I can try for whatever. And then when I asked you if I could get multiple daggers out of one thing, you said no.
So you have 11 planks. I'll say for each one you can roll to see if it's good for a longsword. If it's not, at that point you can either decide to go for the short sword or the dagger, or you could turn that plank into a D6 arrowheads.
Okay.
If you've tried for a short sword and failed that roll, the plank is already too badly spent. You're not going to get much of anything good out of it.
So you're saying I could go for a long sword or a short sword or a dagger, and then so I can't step down.
I'm saying go for the longsword, and if you fail, then you've got to choose to continue pursuing swords, or if you want to go for sharpened shafts or arrowheads.
Okay. Can I carve something a little more intricate for Edmont out of one of the planks instead?
I don't know what you mean by that.
I want to make him a set of basically just carved wood brass knuckles, so he could punch these things in the nuts the next time they take their pants down.
The problem with that is the wood it's strong, but the force of punch you're talking about would split the grain of the wood. Most likely.
I thought the planks were enchanted for strength.
I thought it was hard as steel.
Yeah, they're as hard as you said. They're enchanted.
It is, but they still have a grain.
Okay.
I think a short sword is on Ed. It's a monk weapon, isn't it?
Right, but he can't attack with his bonus action or flurry of blows. Those are unarmed attacks only.
Well, if he's wearing brass knuckles, he's not unarmed anyway. Okay. Unarmed means unarmed. It means you don't have any kind of weapon at all. It means you're fighting with bare fists. Or feet.
Right.
Besides, I already have a weapon. I have the spear.
Also, brass knuckles are a terrible weapon. There's a reason that they're not brass knuckles in the player's handbook.
Right.
I read some guy's whole article about he wanted to know why like Wolverine claws weren't in the weapon list for D&D. Wrote this whole article about how impractical actual claw weapons are.
Anyway, okay, what we can do...
Those are not samurai swords folded 1,000 times.
All right, so here's my plan.
Okay.
Edmont has already got a weapon, so he doesn't need one unless you want to go for the silver. Unless you want to go for the wood steel, because it seems like they might have a weakness to it, possibly to do extra damage.
They seemed weak enough they seemed weak enough to my spear. That being said, I would not go amiss with some arrows.
Okay. We will just spend... Because none of us can use any other weapons. Right? Like, I can't use a short sword, so I'll make... I would like to make... If I forewent the longsword, could I get 2 daggers out of 1 plank?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go for 2 daggers and then just the rest in arrowheads, I think.
Okay.
So, do I need to make a check for anything?
If we're deciding to forego swords altogether, I'll say you can get 2 usable daggers.
Okay. Okay, and then just a D6 arrowheads per plank.
Yeah.
So that's 9 D6. All right.
And this is like wood steel arrowheads is not something that actually makes sense in your reckoning, but this is like a very bizarre situation. Affixing like wooden arrowheads onto wooden arrow shafts. Any of the Fletchers in the village, they would turn their eyes up at such a thing.
Right. 31.
And then you can divvy those out amongst whoever you think need them.
I think... So here's my plan. Is there any way... Here's my reasoning. Is there... How many people in the... And we could put these arrowheads on arrows or crossbows?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Do we have... The long hole is mostly repaired, right? The roof is in good standing?
Yes, the roof was the first thing they repaired. So it's at least that building is a defensible position.
Well, what I'm wondering is if we have volunteers to stand on the roof and shoot crossbow bolts at the Loop Guru while and stay out of the thick of the fighting.
Do you mean volunteers from amongst your party or from amongst the townspeople?
Either or.
I mean, the villagers, this isn't a volunteer type situation. They're your serfs. You tell them what to do.
Are any of them proficient with crossbows?
Or bows. Bows is fine. We have a couple of people who use bows as well in the party.
I'll say there's probably a couple men amongst them that you could trust to put up there with a bow.
What was that one guy that came with with Abernathy and them?
Leotgard.
Put him on.
Leotgard.
Yeah, Leotgard.
Yeah, he can actually... He's a good archer.
He's probably the most accomplished hunter in the village, but there was other... keep in mind, there are other huntsmen amongst your men here.
I think the huntsman, we give some number of arrows to Edmont for his use.
And you tell the people that these arrows will pierce the werewolves when they arrive.
Yep, supposedly.
And then the rumors start spreading through the city, or through the village, rather. By the end of a couple days, as you're working these arrowheads, the townsfolk have it that they've been blessed by air, and the air has already seen a great victory for you.
Well, hope we don't die.
Egg on our face if we lose.
I mean, if we lose, it's not our problem anymore. So,
If the villagers all die, it's not their problem either.
Well, we want to protect our village. That's our responsibility.
okay.
Now,
I think
do I have a dagger again?
yes, you have 2 daggers,
And
and
these
you
are
can get.
these are the same as before. They have the +1 returning.
No, I don't have it
Oh.
infused anymore. Sorry, that's
Oh.
why I put you 2.
You can't throw it.
So now but they are +1.
Oh, can I have Brick Road? Can I use those? Can I have made? Can I use these arrowheads to make darts as well?
You can use 2 arrowheads to make 1 dart, I would say. Because the dart you need to make the entire shaft, basically, is... So you're using
All right.
a greater
So I have-
amount of material.
Do you not have a short bow?
Can you use a short bow?
Yeah, rogues can use a short bow.
I know, but we didn't start. She didn't start as a rogue.
I
She's-
can't use a short. I can't use a short bow. No, I can use daggers and darts. That's it.
Hold on.
So what is Victor doing over the course of this next week? I think Victor's the only one I haven't gone through yet.
But I do have 2 of these daggers.
Yeah.
And they are +1.
No, but they
No.
are magical.
Okay. You made me give away the good one.
No,
So,
you gave
Victor.
away the good one.
What's
Well,
Victor doing
you
over the
told-
course of
you
the next
told me
week?
that we could have a replacement. Is rather.
Is there any? So with all this wood steel scrappage, is there enough scrappage left to make any sort of like trap out of it?
Sounds like it's all spoken for.
Alright, so we can't do a spike trap because that wouldn't do much good. There's no large boulders. Do any sort of weird boulder trap.
So, like,
Are you trying to home alone this village?
Well, considering we don't have walls.
What do you want us to do?
we're gonna just swing paint. We'll swing paint cans made out of wood steel down on them.
Alright, so it seems like it's not feasible to have any traps set up for this invasion. In that case, I guess Victor will kind of alternate between going out with the foragers to get wood and making sure that the Vistani lady is happy.
Happy? Difficult to say. She's a pleasant conversationalist when you go and visit her, but she does not leave the manor house. She asks that her food be brought up to her, which Demetrius is doing on a daily basis.
Does it take the entire week for me to just make the arrowheads and a dagger? Because that's like not 20. That's not even 25. That's like 5 gold worth of crafting.
So what else do you want to do?
I mean, just was wondering.
So
I have to think about that.
if you don't have anything else that you want to do, we can move on.
Train the villagers.
No, I'm going to make. We have spell scrolls components, right?
Boy, I think I burnt most of them to make that one scroll. Let me see here. No, we're completely tapped. It took all the. I brought enough to make a scroll of Revivify. That was it.
Okie dokie.
Do we have materials to make Molotov cocktails?
I doubt it.
No, we don't have anything to make. That would be like Alchemist Fire, and we don't have the stuff to make that. That stuff's expensive.
We got ale.
I don't think beer burns.
You know, I've never actually tried to set fire to beer.
Anything else?
We
I don't think I have anything
no,
else.
that's basically all I can. Unless because we don't have the material. If I were to make no, we just don't have the materials. There's no way. There's no reasonable spot for me to get inks and things to make anything
Okay.
with a week.
So sending the men out to the woods in small shifts, kind of babysitting them. The wolves are never far away. You always can hear them out there. They're keeping track of when your group is moving and where they're going, but you only ever hear them. You don't see them. So at the end of each workday, you're able to drag several logs back into the city. By the end of the 6th day, you want to draw up where this palisade is surrounding on the map. And you've made the long haul into a pretty defensible position. So the idea is that you're going to bring all the villagers inside the palisade. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Along the river there and back behind this building here.
I mean, do we have enough stuff to get it like that?
We could also just do. around the church if that is the case.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
not this far north. Probably over around encircling the church would be more practical in the time that you have.
Yeah.
That's a later problem.
Yeah,
That's
we can always repurpose the logs.
We don't have what were the component? It was ruby, right? Ruby dust.
Yeah, ruby dust. You said there's a 5% chance per, so you'd have to get a 5. You'd have to make a 5% check, at least 4 times.
On the 8 stones we have.
If you want, I could spend. You know what we could do? I don't have time. If you want, we could spend the time to make those. There's enough time to make one reusable mine. If you'll cast the spell for me, if you want to do that.
Cast which spell?
I don't know.
Like the spell you would put in a mine?
Yeah.
What level can it be?
First or second? No, first or cantrip. It'll take 25 gold of progress, which we have basically just assuming that all this took we'll say 25 gold, that we have time for one. This is a reusable
do you want
item.
to put a burning hands in there?
Sure.
And then do we want to guard the mirror room with it? That's what I wanted to put that's where I wanted to put a glyph of warding.
I don't think they're going for the mirror room.
Okay.
If they get that far, we're dead. And you know what? More power to them for letting whatever's in there out. I hope it eats them.
The keep isn't part of our palisade, so.
Well, there's not going to be anybody in the keep.
Right. That's why I'm concerned about the one thing we know that's dangerous that is in the keep.
The Vistani?
Oh, is she staying in the keep?
Two things we know that are dangerous that are in the keep.
Well, yeah, I assume that the keep can also be fortified, but we want to keep our defenses kind of centralized.
I wouldn't know how you'd fortify the keep. I mean, it's...
Okay. I mean, stone.
Victor will ask the
There's
stuff.
windows and...
Yeah.
So Victor's
I'm
going to
sorry.
ask what?
Victor is going to ask the Vistani if she'd like to join us inside the palisade once it's finished.
You can go inside one of the... If she wants to be away from everybody else, she can go in this house, which nobody's probably claimed because it probably smells like wolf.
Okay. Then you can put her in there inside the wall.
And then... Yeah, we have one burning hands trap, I guess.
So we can put it by the main entrance, I guess.
What's the trigger condition for this trap to go off?
It's basically the way I've envisioned it is it basically works just like a simple. It's got a kind of like a bear trap mechanism, and instead of snapping closed, it shoots a burning hands.
So we just have
sounds
to
like
know
something
not to step on it, and our
Right.
people need to know
We
not
just
to step on it.
kind of it's
It's not like magically keyed to a werewolf or something.
No, it's a what's the word here? It's a mechanical trigger that triggers a magical force.
Yeah, you don't keep those lying around when you're not expecting werewolves to attack.
So kind of like that trap that I kept poking in that dungeon and got electrocuted, something like that.
Yeah, but that guy would love this thing.
That's basically where I got the idea.
What's his name? I don't remember his name anymore.
What?
It's not
Horse
important.
thief. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do simple math. What's 32 minus 25?
After the 5th night
7.
7.
is the first night in many nights where nighttime is silent. For once
That's
you
somehow more
do not
ominous.
hear the wolves.
That's a bad sign.
All of you are behind the palisade at this point.
Mm-hmm.
In the dead of night, you can see and smell smoke rising up on the other side of the palisade wall.
Well, let's roll out of bed.
Yeah.
So you made 2 daggers, and Evie has both of those?
Yes, unless she wants to give one to Victor. That's up to her.
And you have made how many arrows?
31 arrows. How many does Edmont want? Because I doubt
10.
you'll be able to use 10. Okay, then we'll split the other 10 arrows. We'll split the other 20 arrows between.
Leotgard needs some.
Right. We'll give 10 to Leotgard, and we'll split the other 5 between 2 other hunters. And their instructions are to get on the roof of the long hall and shoot the biggest werewolf shoot the werewolf that we point out, and then when they run out of arrows, to get down and get into the long hall and take cover. Does that sound fair to everybody?
Yeah.
So Leotgard has you have 11 arrows just because there's 31. McDohl.
Okay.
So Leotgard is going to be positioned on the long hall?
Correct. Leotgard and then 2 other hunters.
Then he's probably the one that first calls the smoke. And
Burning our fields, aren't they?
they are indeed. Go ahead and position yourselves where you want to be standing inside of the palisade at this point. Is there anybody else you want out here with you other than Leotgard and his 2 men?
I don't know who else could fight. I guess
Maybe
Trieste has a magic gun. Her gun would do damage, right?
yeah, Trieste still has I still have in preparation for this, because I do not have my bag. I have uninfused my bag of holding. And I have the enhanced arcane focus on myself, and yeah, she has her repeating shot pistol.
Then she should be up on the roof where she's safe.
And then she's up on the roof too.
Abernathy's pretty dangerous too.
I know, but we don't have a weapon for him.
He's, as a spellcaster, he's pretty dangerous.
Oh, well, the Abernathy can come too. We'll just bring everybody to the party.
No, we don't. There are some people who I don't want out here.
Right.
I mean, Trieste and Leotgard can shoot from a very safe range. I don't want anybody to get close enough that they're going to get in trouble.
The main thing is I'd put Abernathy up there mostly as support because he can heal them.
He has word of command too. He could give them another attack.
Yeah, and he also can cast spiritual weapon if anything gets close to him. So yeah, he's pretty useful.
All right, then I'll put him up there as well. He'll be this pink one.
He'll have strict orders to just, if things close on you, attack them with your magic, otherwise support your allies.
And then
What's the distance between like this house and the gates? Where Victor's at?
we don't really have a scale here.
Yeah, it looks like 15, maybe 20 feet. Maybe a little more.
I guess we're using the same block scales on this.
We're just going to eyeball it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're burning your fields. What do?
Summon my you know what? Offense. I've summoned my turret. I am summoning a force ballista. It is a oh, please don't do that. That's just going to confuse me. But yeah, using these as like maybe as squares is probably fine. I'm going to summon my force ballista and have it walk up the wall and stand right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like this first field anyway is within 60 feet.
I have a force ballista just standing here.
And so are they actually in the field?
Well, you can't see over the wall.
Well,
What does Leotgard see?
What do your elf eyes see?
Well, I was assuming that the wall is taller than this building.
is there? Were we smart enough to put a way to get on top of the wall?
I'm sure, there's positive that you've got some kind of scaffolding or a ladder leading up.
Yeah, and that's
Okay,
the thing that I have set up.
Then
I had them.
get on the wall.
I had them set up on this because I was assuming that they could see over the wall over here. We would want them positioned where they could see over the wall and fire.
Yeah.
They can fire over the wall, but
No, see over the wall and fire. Just firing randomly is not gonna work. Like I was because to me it looks like this is taller than the wall. That's why I did that.
I would say the building's not taller than the wall, just because it's not as useful that way.
Yeah,
The wall is not
these are-
as good
So-
protection.
Let's just put them on scaffolding on
On the wall, yeah.
this wall right here.
Okay.
Okay, so if yes,
Is Edmont want to be?
Yeah.
Because you could just jump down like a freaking boss.
so
Like
if,
a monk.
if we're on the wall, can we see where they are?
You sure can.
Here it comes.
Make them white.
Where's...
Oh, those are the big ones.
Oh, there's multiples. That's not good.
He's as big as the tower.
You see, it's dead of night. Fortunately, fire is very, very bright. The fire is set to each field. You think you can see 3 of the wolves in each of your 2 fields. You have more fields further just outside of the map, and there are fires going up in those as well. So their exact number, you can't be certain. You do see what unmistakably must be the Loop Guru. They are enormous. Easily 2 to 3 heads bigger than the other werewolves you've been fighting. The other werewolves that you fought down in the cave, more or less they were humans that were very furry and had claws. The Loop Guru are bestial. They move on all 4s, and they are enormous, slavering creatures. And when the light catches their face, you can see that their eyes are blood red. And when they see people start climbing up onto the walls, that's going to be initiative.
This is it, everyone. This is what we trained for.
You got training?
And I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 4. Don't feel bad.
Rolled a 9.
I'm not wasting a reroll on an initiative roll.
I mean,
You're not?
it's fine. Being lower is better for a rogue anyway because you have time for people to get in place. Being high on the initiative is actually kind of a detriment unless you have class features that benefit from it.
Yeah. Like
Because-
Mr. Treble over here whining about, I rolled a 30 on initiative. Oh, I can't do anything.
But I can't sneak attack anybody because everybody's down here in like -2 initiative land.
Yeah.
Razu.
Yeah. What's your fucking problem?
Okay. Are there any lights up along the wall or inside of the palisade?
Yeah.
Orson's gonna have his light, his chain, and I'll have a light on my shield.
Okay. Technically, the 2 fields are lit because fire is burning, but there's also a great deal of smoke, which means that the wolves there are in a position of some concealment. They will have cover.
Okay.
Once they see you coming up on the scaffolding on the other side of the walls, you catch their attention immediately. This one darts to the palisade and throws its full body weight against it. Orson's on the ground or on the wall?
On the ground.
He's on the ground.
So Victor and Evie are on the wall here, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel the reverberation of this thing as it leaps and grabs the palisade with its claws. And it's going to climb up and hoist itself up and over.
Wow.
The second one dashes to the center of the field, throws back its head, and lets out this ear-piercing howl calling out to the moon. This is loud, angry, baying sound that the rest of the smaller wolves join in. And then it's their turn.
Where is the burning hands trap?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I thought it was at the entrance.
In front of the let's put it in front of the entrance over here, because they're not going to come in the door. They're going to climb the walls.
In the entrance of Long Hall, you mean? In front of the door? Okay.
Yeah. In case they
Everyone
try
has
to-
very careful instructions not to set that off.
Like, remember the plans. Focus fire the loot guru.
Yep,
Everybody
I
else.
think that this one who got close, I think that's our guy.
Well, there's two of them.
Yeah, but this one's close. So everyone focus their fire on that one.
Well, most of the people can't see him.
So the three wolves in the nearest field leap the fence that surrounds the field to the other side. And who's next?
Next up is Edmont with Ekon on deck.
I don't have line of sight to this guy, do I?
You do not, because you're up on the wall, yes?
Yeah.
You do not, because he's leapt up and is climbing up the wall with his claws.
And you could.
Okay, I'm gonna radiant action.
Sure.
Why don't you
As-
run down the wall. Like, there's scaffolding across, right?
Well, there's like ladders that can be leaned up against the wall that you guys have climbed to get up there. And
Okay,
then
gotcha.
Places here or there, there's some scaffolding that's been built,
Okay,
but there's not like a wall walk all the way around. It's too crude for that.
okay. Sorry, McDohl.
Okay. I'm going to radiant action.
Mhm.
As soon as this guy crests the fence, I'm going to take a shot with one of my ironwood arrows.
Okay. And you were.
And I'm going to indicate that to the others that they should do the same whenever they get if they can radiant action in time.
Oh yeah, where are they on the initiative?
They're way at the top.
No,
okay.
These three.
Did anyone roll for them?
Yeah, I didn't roll for them.
Oh,
These are
sorry.
NPCs.
Okay, hold on. Let's roll for them real quick.
Sure.
Can we just put them on 0?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah. Let's just put all three of them on 0, one after the other.
So that's the end of it. That's the end of Edmund's turn. You're staying put there, ready in action.
Yeah.
Okay, Victor. This one has no difficulty getting to the top of the wall and leaping forth at you.
Didn't he already go?
Yeah.
Welcome to Legendary Actions.
Oh, go boy.
Well,
Oh, they have
then.
legendary actions. Oh no.
Well, heck, this guy, he's getting an arrow.
He is, because he's cresting the wall. So that triggers your ready to action immediately.
Yeah, so that is a 20 to hit.
20 will hit. I'm going to say Orson's standing near enough by that he's illuminated well enough. The
Pleased to be
palisade is tall, but
enjoying-
it's not 20 feet tall.
Yeah. Pleased to be enjoying 8 points of ironwood piercing damage.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second.
We find out that this is where the boss, like, it strengthens the boss.
Victor, the thing howls in pain as the arrow strikes it. And it breaks its stride, but only for a moment. I have a 28 to hit you.
Using my own legendary action, I get hit pretty hard.
PCs don't get legendary actions. Sucks to be you.
Obviously.
Okay.
Turret.
9 points. I'm sorry.
Wrong.
13 points of slashing damage from the claw. And I need you to make me a strength saving throw. DC is 17.
Well, that would be a 14.
14. Roll any die. Call even or odd before you roll.
Let's go with even.
Okay.